So just when you think you've seen it all, social media buzz comes again with another babbling stuff to talk about. Now this time around with so many hashtags on the street of socials, it's actually a difficult task to pitch which would go on and which would not. This is TMI Socials and I am Anuoluwapo Stevens. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning. To begin your day, let's move over to the trending gist that made it through the social media space. We kickstart with a trending story from Pope Francis, where he said that the situation as regards same-sex marriage it's not included in the African setting. Yes, he made this known yesterday, reacting to what he said the other time as regards updates on the same-sex marriage situation, where he said African is not part of the discussion. Anyway, let's move over to how you reacted to this conversation on the social media space. Now this user says, no be Pope fault. Now we carry foreign religion for head. That's how they want to practice their religion. Make we face our traditional religion simple. That's what this one is saying. Moving over to another reaction still on the story. Viver on X says, Pope maintained his lane. He knows his boundary. Pope is telling you that when you are in Rome, you should behave like the Romans. But when you are in Africa, you must behave like the Africans and respect their culture. Moving over to another reaction that we have. This user says, with all due respect, the Pope is off the line here. He is absolutely wrong as far as nature and humanity is concerned. How does he expect procreation to continue if gay is legalized? Oga Pope, abeg go seats, abeg, we Africans no agree. That's what this one is saying. Yes, moving over to another reaction. The church is a giant enterprise for the Europeans with its headquarters in Africa. In order not to count losses in no distant time, the Pope is choosing to play smart, having been briefed of the possible impact it will have on remittances. Church of England didn't recover from their gamble in Africa. The advisory board knows this, and they are doing the needful as regards the PR to maintain status quo. That's what that one is saying there. Right, and I remember that this particular story trended. It was hashtag Pope every single place and everywhere. Now, moving over to my second story. Daniel Bala, yes, the spokesman for Atiku Abubakar, the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in the February 2023 presidential poll, has met with President Bola Tinubu in Paris, France. His visit yesterday occurred about 3 weeks after he visited the president in Asuvila, Abuja. Now, Bala, a rapid critic of Tinubu, the then presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress APC, had said his decision to now support the ex-governor of Lagos State, who won the February 2023 presidential poll, does not mean he betrayed Atiku. Now, so you think, Bala. Anyway, let's see how you responded on the social media streets. This user says, I am not disappointed with your decisions. Dear Atiku, most of the people around you are fake. During the election campaign, they were solidly behind you. Hopefully, some of them cashed out. They couldn't stand with you till the finish, even when you needed them the most. I'm pretty sure you are learning your lessons. Please, Atiku, please shine your eyes. That's what this user Omega on X is tweeting. Now this one, Chima, says, this is the effect of being a jobless politician who is just surviving on political appointment where he does nothing else but embezzle public funds. Shameless, he says. Moving over to another reaction. Patel, still on social media, says, I don't know how you politicians do this, but how do you face the same man you said very nasty things about just a few months ago? If you knew you would one day go back to PBAT, why engage in those harsh criticism? How do you feel watching those videos and seeing all that you said about a man you now run to like a baby or runs to the mom? Politicians get mine, Sha. All right, finally on the story, this one says, interesting times in Nigeria. David wants the national cake. Let him collect his share. All right, moving over to more or less like a business news right now. My third story for you. Nigeria's Dangote refinery, the largest in Africa, in the coming months will import crude from the United States. A report has said. Now, traders with knowledge of the matter said the Trafigura Group sold 2 million barrels of WTI mainland to Dangote refinery for end February delivery. This is the first time the giant refinery has purchased non-Nigerian crude, traders said. Now, the petrochemical company had recently received the 4th crude shipment of 1 million barrels of Bonny Light crude, supplied by the Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation Limited, NNPCL, and is expecting the 5th crude shipment anytime from now. Let's see your response on the social media space. Ozone the Africa says, what's the problem with Nigeria? We used to export to refine when we don't have refinery. Now we have refinery, but we don't have crude oil. Who do us this thing? Question in Burner Boy's voice. Another user says, it is perplexing that Nigeria, producing 1.4 million barrels of crude oil daily and exporting more than half of this to the US, should witness Dangote considering importing the same oil back from the US to Nigeria. The underlying reality seems to be Dangote's desire to continue benefiting from the Central Bank of Nigeria's special foreign exchange window, a practice that is detrimental to our economy's health. This one says. Now, another user still on X says, Nigeria is battling shortage in crude oil production for a while now because of various incidents of crude oil theft and insecurity across the Niger Delta. So we have not been able to meet the OPEC standard quota, and Dangote as a business needs to look elsewhere to get supplies. Hope this helps. Now, this user is trying to, educate you on what really is going on. Finally, on the story, T-Talk says Nigeria has retained its position as the largest oil producer in Africa and number 7 in the world. Please, why are we importing crude oil from abroad? Question mark right there. So many questions to be answered. Well, hopefully only Dangote can provide the right solution, and also, the federal government as well can provide the right solution to all of this question. Moving over to the 4th story I have for you today, also trending on the social media space yesterday was #Ekiti, as gunmen suspected to be headsmen killed 2 traditional rulers in Ekiti state, throwing their towns into confusion. The incident was said to have happened between Oke Ako and Ipo Ekiti in Ajoni local government area of the state. The duo, Oni Mojo of Imojo Ekiti in Oye local government area and Elesun of Esun in Ekiti in Ajoni Ikole local government area of Ekiti state, were attacked by gunmen while returning from a meeting. The police are yet to react as regards this incident, but the Ekiti State Governor, Mr. Bioju Oyebanji, has condemned Monday's disaster in Ajoni local government area, which led to the gruesome killing of the 2 traditional rulers. Now, the government in a statement has ordered security agencies in the state to fish out their killers. Let's move over to your reaction. This user says, prayers alone can save. The presidency needs to call an emergency meeting with figurehead senators and all state governors. I thought one of his responsibilities to protect lives and properties. Question mark, another question again. Now this one, Citizen for Ethical Governor says, it still baffles me how headsers are still roaming in the Nigeria bushes at 21st century. The cow in Nigeria is not bigger than what Ethiopia has. Neither is more than what Germany has. But here in Nigeria, our own cow is source of problem, he says, because certain people has chosen not to change to modern way of cattle rearing. Food for thought. Now, Daniel on X says, not a day goes by without news about bandits or herdsmen dominating the headlines. It has become very exhausting to read. Nigerians in Nigeria are not safe, but the government does almost nothing to address this problem. One of the campaign promises was to end terrorism. How long will Nigerians continue to be victims? My God, he says. And finally on the story, this is a huge slap to the entire state in Southwest. Some of you claimed Southwest is safe. I hope this statement these headsmen made is loud enough. That's what Nwa Fresh has to say on the story. Now, my final one for today is a trending video of the governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, yesterday as he faltered the presidential candidate of his party, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Atiku Abubakar, for not reaching out to commiserate with him over the recent explosion in Ibadan. Take a look.
Peter Gregory Obi, a former governor of Anambra State, and also the presidential candidate of Labour Party in the last presidential election. I thank you because politics didn't seep into this. You came here to commiserate with us over the explosion. Actually, though investigation into the details are still going on, it was simply illegal miners storing explosives in an environment where they shouldn't be. It's a place where it's meant, for people to live in. It's not a mining site. So all the lapses that allow such to happen have been looked into. I'm particularly grateful because the president called me. You have three musketeers that went for that election. The president has reached out to me. You have reached out to me. But my own party candidates, not even a call or a text message. I mean, I'm saying it openly so that our leaders will know that you have time for politics, you have time for governance, and you have time for humanity.
All right, let's move over to how you reacted on social media space. This user says, okay, now this actually is Atiku's ex-tweet where he did say something as regards it. And he says, I wish to express my condolences to the good people and government of Oyo State over the explosion that rocked the capital city of Ibadan late yesterday night. While the government continues to provide humanitarian support to victims of the explosion, I commiserate with the families of those who might have lost their lives and property to the explosion. That's Atiku there. Now, I remember users saying that he actually made a tweet. He did send a message as regards it. So why are you still calling him out? This user on X says, you worked against Atiku in the last election and you wanted him to call you? Obi is not a typical Nigerian politician. Hope you know that. Tell me about it. Moving over to other reaction. I really thank Obi for the visit and to commiserate, or I really thank rather Obi for the visit and to commiserate with the people of Oyo State. But for Atiku, Seyi is demanding for text message or call. He has already done that by commiserating with the people of Oyo State and must not be you precisely. English at work right there. Now this user says, at Sheyi Makinde, sir, are you expecting a Fulani man you betrayed to forgive you? Only good men like Peter Obi has a human and sympathetic heart and aura. Now, do you think so, really? It's about that time where I get to invite Philip on board to want to react to some of the stories. Now, especially with this particular one, the Oyo State Governor, Sheyi Makinde, calling out, you know, his leader, Atiku Abubakar. Do you think he has a right, considering everything that happened?
Well, I didn't get much of that was said, but I want to really react over the insecurity saga.
Okay.
I could see what was said concerning how in every headline we make, we keep seeing insecurity, you know, popping up. We have headsmen, we have bandits, you know, popping up, kidnappers, and even to a point where we have 2 traditional rulers killed in the process. Now, we are tired of being reactive as a government. I think the government should wake up and whip his ass and wake up and ensure that we are proactive, because the essence of having a government is for us to have, you know, insecurity tackled, is for us to have comfort as citizens. Now, we can hardly breathe fresh air in Nigeria as regards security matters. Now, they say that we usually sleep with one eye closed, the other one open, but we sleep with 2 eyes opened. So I think this can call for all of these insecurity matters to be tackled.
Now, would you also want to react to the Pope Francis story, where he said, as regards the same-sex, you know, marriage and blessings, that it's actually a special case for Africans here? Do you think he has a point?
Well, I think he has not really been meeting up to the expectations of most of us as Christians as regards the same-sex marriage. And I would say that he's not meeting up at all with standards, because the same-sex marriage basically is not celebrated, you know, by a huge number of Christians. And some Christians have asked the reason why he's interested in peddling the opinion he peddles, because I don't see God, you know, in his almightiness, you know, tolerating sin. You know, I see God as one who tells you, don't do this, do this. If you must follow me, take up a cross. And so what's the cross we carry if we accept anything, any doctrine, you know, in the church? So I think a whole lot needs to be addressed by what he said.
So
no,
the pastor
it's
in
not,
you
it's not welcome.
The pastor in you is coming out. I didn't know you have it in you, though.
All right. I think it's a happy ending, and it's awesome to know that we are ending this in a good way.
On a good note. Well, that's my bits for today, Philip. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. So have a beautiful day ahead.